Hi, it's Cammy. Charlie talks football.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Charlie Talks Football. We're back again for another game week predictions. It's game week 13 of the Premier League. We've got some very interesting games coming up to predict for you guys. So anyway guys, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button as well. Get your thoughts down below and let's get into the video. So the first game, I mean this game is crazy.
The big game of the weekend.
It's Man City versus Liverpool at 12:30 kickoff, which, you know, to have a big game like that straight away is crazy. But what are your thoughts there?
I think it's going to be the big game of the weekend. You know, you've got Man City, who will be the favourites to win the Premier League against Liverpool, with another fantastic team. For me, it is going to be, it's a one you could potentially say, you know, Man City will win. Some might say a draw. But I'm going to go maybe a 2-1 victory to Man City. I think they'll have too much for Liverpool, but I think it'll be a really exciting game.
Yeah, it will be, and I'm going to go for 3-2 to Man City.
Wow,
I
lots
think
of goals.
A lot of goals. It's going to be a fantastic game. Can't wait to watch it tomorrow. But now the next game is Burnley versus West Ham. Now, another interesting one. I think you would expect West Ham to win it. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory for the Hammers.
To West Ham, down at Burnley. So I think this is the one that, I would expect West Ham to win it. I mean, Burnley play really good football, to be fair.
It's just the lack of goal scoring.
In the final third, we've said this before, they struggle a little bit. They do actually create chances, but they're just struggling to score goals. I think West Ham will have too much, and it could be a draw, this one, but I'm going to go, I think it'll be 2-0 to West Ham as well.
So the next game is Newcastle versus Chelsea. Now, again, another interesting game. You know, Chelsea have got a lot of injuries. Newcastle have got a lot of injuries as well. But I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw in that one.
A board draw.
A board draw, yeah.
All right, okay, that's great. Well, I think it's going to be a really interesting game. Newcastle missing about 13 players, you know, which is... And Chelsea, I think they're missing a couple of players as well. But I think it's going to be a really tough game. I think Chelsea are a really good team and they're just starting to click. So it's a really tough one to call. But I'm going to go with a 2s each draw on this one. I think it'll be a tough game. And I think we'll come away with a point, Newcastle.
So the next game is Luton versus Crystal Palace. Now, in my opinion, I think this could go... Luton could maybe get something out of this result, because Crystal Palace, they're a funny team. I think at times they can get good results, but I think they're a bit inconsistent. Like, sometimes they'll do good, sometimes they won't do well at all. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I can see Luton getting a point out of that.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one to call again. I mean, Crystal Palace, they've been hit and miss again this season. They've got some really good players. I think Palace will win. And why I say that, Charlie, is because I think Palace will hurt them on the break. So if they can play really good on the break and the transition, I think they'll be too fast and too strong for Luton. Luton, you know, they're doing okay for the Premiership. Yeah, they're going to probably finish in the bottom three, but... They're doing quite well considering the players they've got. But I think Palace will win this one comfortably 2-0.
So guys, the next game is Nottingham Forest versus Brighton. Now, I think this is probably, you know, one of the most interesting games, apart from, of course, Man City versus Liverpool. You've got two interesting teams. Nottingham Forest, they signed a lot of players, and I think a lot of people would have expected them to be a lot higher in the league than they are. And I think for Nottingham Forest, it's just about getting them players to sort of gel. Brighton, they're a funny team because they're a bit like Crystal Palace. They're hit and miss. Obviously, they've got the European football, which will be, you know, affected stuff. But this might shock you guys, but I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Nottingham Forest.
Wow.
I think Brighton are dodgy away from home, and I think Forest, they've got the pace, they've got a lot of good players, and I think they're going to get a very good 3 points against Brighton.
I think that's an interesting call, Charlie, for Forest to win, because Brighton on the day are one of the best teams in the Premier League on their day. They're very good, but they're very inconsistent at the minute. They can win by a lot of goals and then they can get beat by a lot of goals.
I think it's Europe as well.
Yeah, that'll have an effect. Plus their defence, they've had injuries at the back, so that sort of caused problems for them at the back. But for me, this is a really difficult one to call because Forest, I think they've got ability as well on the break. I think they're quite good.
They've got a lot of good players.
I do think they lack a little bit of quality in the final third, though, of scoring goals. This is a really difficult one to call. So I'm going to sit on the fence here and say it's going to be a score draw. And I'm going to say ones each. Ones each, but it could go either way. Brighton could win or Forest could win.
They have that quality and they've got a very good record at home as well. So I think they will get the very important 3 points. But anyway, guys, the next game is Sheffield United taking on Bournemouth. Again, it's another interesting game. You would expect Bournemouth to win, but you would never know with Sheffield United. For me, Bournemouth looked good in their last game. So I'm going to go for 2-1 to Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth will have enough quality to win, but I think Sheffield United will get that goal late on in the game.
Yeah, I think it's, again, two teams that'll be, fighting to stay in the Premier League this year. Sheffield United, hard-working team, but again, lack quality in the final third. Bournemouth have got a really good coach. I always say that.
It's just the injuries because I don't think Bournemouth should be in the position that they are because when you look at the team compared to the other teams, they should be, I think,
They have had a lot of injuries and they were really, although Newcastle were tired when we played them, they were really impressive and they sort of seemed to click a bit. So,
I think they should have enough.
They'll have lots of confidence going into this game. I know there's been the international break, but, this one again, it could be a draw, but I'm going to say Bournemouth to win 2-1.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
as well.
Same as me. It's rather actually that's the first game we've predicted the same, which normally we predict quite a lot
Sometimes,
of the games.
Yes, we do. Don't we?
Yeah, same. So anyway, guys, on to the next game, the 5:30 kickoff. It's another interesting game. Brentford taking on Arsenal now.
Yes. Two
I'm
London
a big
teams.
fan of, Brentford with the players they've got. I think Thomas Frank's doing, a brilliant job at the club, the way he's developed players. Arsenal as well, they've got some fantastic players. So what do you think, Dad? Because I think it's a really hard one to call.
Let's see if I can get the Brentford manager's name correct. Because I call him Jonathan Franks, don't I, in the last video.
2 videos.
So, remind us his name, Thomas, that's it. So, apologise, Thomas Franks, for getting your name wrong in 2 videos. I'm getting old. I'm getting the names mixed up. But this is a really tough game because Brentford on their day are very impressive. And I think they've been doing quite well at home. I like Mbueno. They've got some good players. They're really well drilled. But Arsenal, should have far too much for them. It might be a draw, but I'm going to say 2-0 to Arsenal.
I think Brentford will get a goal because they usually do score quite a few goals, but I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Arsenal. I think, like I said, I agree with you. I think Arsenal will have just a bit too much. So anyway, guys, on to the Sunday games. Now, the next game is Everton versus Man United. And I think what makes this game interesting is the deduction that Everton have had. And I saw this thing on Instagram where they're planning to, I think they're printing off signs saying, like, with the Premier League saying corrupt. So Man United are going to be faced with a very intimidating atmosphere. So for that, I think Everton might just edge it just because of how good the atmosphere is. I think they're planning to get a lot of flares and flags. So I'm going to predict 3-2 to Everton.
To Everton, wow. Right, so Everton obviously deducted 10 points, as Charlie's just said, and Man United going through a difficult patch, although they've improved a little bit. So again, this one potentially could be a draw.
I think Everton could
there could be a shock on the cards.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Man United will be the favourites to win this, but I think there could be. I think that they will win it, but it wouldn't surprise us if there's a shock on the cards. So I'm going to say a 2-1 victory to Man United on that game.
So the next game is Tottenham versus Aston Villa. There's a lot of good games this week.
Should be a really good game, this one.
What are your thoughts?
I think Unai Emery is a fantastic manager. He's doing really well. We've got Ollie Watkins Moussa Diaby's been really impressive. Newcastle,
Douglas Luiz,
and he's gotten really, really well. The list's endless, isn't it? But, Ange Postecoglou's done really well at Spurs. They've got Son. Since Harry Kane's left, they're actually doing a lot better. And that's no disrespect to Harry Kane, but you know sometimes it takes for someone who's been there so long.
I think it's the manager as well.
Yeah, I think the players get on with him. I think they get really. They've bought into the style of play, and it's really entertaining. The Spurs fans.
It's going to be a very good game.
It's going to be a really good game, and it's another difficult game to call. It could go either way.
What are your thoughts?
I'm going to say a draw 2 each.
Well, that's funny actually, because I was thinking 3-3.
Right.
So
okay.
Both draws, both high scoring games.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, the last game on the Monday is Fulham versus Wolves. I mean, they've picked this game on a Monday. It's a bit of a
Monday
boring game, I think, overall. I might be wrong. Let you know your thoughts in the comments.
Fulham fans and Wolves fans won't be happy with that.
I mean, I think Wolves should win this, and the reason I think this is because Fulham is struggling a lot. You know, they need a goal scorer, they haven't got it. Paulinho, the top player, is probably going to go to Bayern Munich in January, and you know, they're not really in the best patch, whereas, you know, Wolves are starting to improve. They're a fantastic team. I think they should be a lot higher in the league than they are. Gary O'Neill's a great manager.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for a 3-0 win to Wolves.
3-0, wow, that's a shocking score.
They'll finally get the cutting edge.
That's a real shock.
Finish them off.
I think it's going to be an interesting game. I think Fulham are improving. I think Wolves are a very good team, but they do lack finisher in the final third. Cunha dribbles with the ball well, he's really good, but his finishing's not the best. I think that lets them down, but I think, you know, if they can get an early goal, it might give them the confidence and they can go on. So, but for me, you know, I think this one will be a draw. So I think 1 each. I'm going to sit on the fence.
Wolves, yeah, no,
well, we'll see.
Wolves fans will be happy, but I think that they've got quality. It's just once they get a goal, I think they can get a few. And I think Fulham, you know, are low on confidence. Wolves will be high on confidence. And I think a shocking result, 3-0. So anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts on those
what do you think the results are going to be?
Yeah, I mean, there's some crazy games this week.
It's really
Tottenham,
difficult
Villa,
one. You know,
Man City, Liverpool, Forest, Brighton, Sheffield United, Bournemouth, I think it is. You know, there's so many good games that could go either way. So let us know your thoughts. Make sure to hit that subscribe button as well.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the support on the videos as well. You've got the Newcastle Chelsea game.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
That'll be on the channel tomorrow. Can Newcastle get a result? It's going to be tough, isn't it?
Tough game,
But, anyway, guys, take care. See you guys in the next one. Bye.